Hi everyone, Stepan here. I'm going to play another training game today. Hopefully I get a normal opening. I don't know if you've seen the last two videos, but my opponents have been playing, well, it's not even slightly offbeat openings, it's very strange openings. So I hope to get a normal game today. Also, thank you for all the comments and all the feedback on my play. I have to say I agree with all of that, or most of it, and I've been missing a lot of stuff, and I've also been focusing too much on my opening play, which is true. I should have concentrated on like normal principles. Okay, we have a Sicilian, and let's see what he does. So it's a normal game. I don't think he can play anything too strange from here on, which is going to confuse me. Maybe I'm not too prepared for knight f6. Okay, he plays the accelerated, or the hyper accelerated. Okay, do I start with c4 or d4? I'm going to start with c4. I'm used to playing this way. So bishop g7, d4 takes, knight f6, knight c3, d6 or knight c6. So yeah, well, we will see. I mean, I've only played one tournament game against this opening, and I lost it. I don't really remember exactly what happened, which I should. I remember my opponent playing something extremely strange. I took on d4 with the queen, threatening the rook. Yeah, okay, I'm not going to think about that now. I'm going to try to concentrate on this one. Okay, so bishop e3 is correct. So we will see. I mean, there are things I don't know here, and there are things that are uncomfortable. Usually when black plays normal developing moves, I'm fine here. But I've faced early queen b6, I faced early e5 ideas, which I'm not too sure what to do against. Basically, if knight f6 is played, then I have enough time for everything. I remember one game I played online recently where I blundered with b3 when my knight was on c3. He just took on e4 with the knight. So there are some things that could be problematic, but we will see. Yeah, knight f6 is the normal move. Now, as I said, I have to be careful about queen b6 ideas, but for the moment, since I have not committed my pawn to f3, none of those tricks should work because of knight b5 or even knight e6 or even knight f5. So, okay, queen a5. Okay, so queen d2 probably loses a pawn to knight e4, queen d2, knight d2, and then knight d4. So I have to be careful. I think queen d2 does lose a pawn. Let's just check that again. Queen d2, knight e4. Knight e4, queen d2, knight d2, knight d4, bishop d4, bishop d4, and I have a knight on d2, a bishop on f1, two rooks, and the king on e1. And he is a pawn up. And he has the bishop pair, so queen d2 doesn't work. Queen c2 could work, but that runs into knight b5, knight b4. Queen f3 is definitely not an option. I don't like queen d3. Maybe bishop d3 works. Usually in the Kramnik, before bishop d3 you take on c6, but here I'm not sure I should take on c6. So f3 is the logical move. I think f3 is the way to play this. And then if queen b6, I have knight f5. I think f3 is the move. I could be wrong, but this is usually the principled way to play these Maroczy Bind positions. Unless he can immediately play d5, which I don't think he can. Maybe d5 is the move here. Yeah, I should have considered d5 before playing f3. Because if he just castles, I have queen d2. So then d5 would not work. So I'm going to play queen d2. But I'm curious about d5 on the previous move, where my c3 knight is still pinned. No, the strategic question, or, well, more importantly, a tactical question later on, is do I just castle queenside, or do I play bishop e2 and castle kingside? I've done both before. I think I prefer bishop e2. And castling kingside. Because then I have some knight d5 tricks. So where is his bishop going to go? I don't think he plays e5. I don't think he is in time to play d5, even after rook d8. And how dangerous is b5? For example, castles queenside, knight d4, bishop d4, b5. I don't think it's too dangerous. But I prefer castling kingside. I have a feeling that with my extra space I shouldn't risk too much. And usually in Maroczy Bind positions I castle short. I mean, I don't think either of them is too bad. Or too good for that matter. But I just feel a bit more secure this way. Sure, it's not a normal... Wait, what's rook e8? I don't understand what rook e8 does. It defends e7, so knight d5 is not as effective. I don't think he wants to play e5 though, because on e5 I play knight c2, bishop f2, knight e3 and occupy all the squares. So I'm just going to play rook f to d1, which I think is the principled move, just getting my rook into play to the best square. If knight e5, I can play b3. Or I don't have to play it yet, I can just play rook a to c1. But b3 makes my knight more mobile, because then a2 is not loose. Okay, rook e8 sort of makes sense. Okay, rook ac1. I'm not going to spend too much time on this move. Now, this is the trickier part of the Maroczy Bind against dragon positions, because he plays h5, h4 and starts pushing. Okay, b3 or knight d5. e7 is defended. So that proved to be quite a good idea. I had not considered rook e8, because otherwise I could just play knight d5 here, and on queen a2, whoa, excuse me, my phone rang. Okay, b3 or knight d5, b3 definitely. I don't want to allow him to take on a2. Okay, everything is solid. Now I want to reroute my pieces. I probably play h3 and f4 to be aggressive. And if I want to be solid, then knight c2, knight e3 is the plan. If I want to trade, then knight d5 is the plan. It's very hard to find moves in these positions. The one plan I like is bishop f2, knight c2, knight e3, but then knight h5, knight f4 could be problematic. For the moment, since his knight is on e5 and he doesn't have a pawn on e5, that's of course not as good, because f4 is not protected by his pawn. But it could still be annoying, especially if he provokes h3. Or if I play h3 to go for f4, because then g3 is loose. But my bishop defends g3. Okay. I don't think I'm afraid of b4, of b5. At least not for the moment. So the reason why I would like to play knight d5 after I've played knight c2 is so that if knight d5, queen d5, I have rook d5, and then bishop c6, rook d2. But also have to be a bit careful. Knight d5 for the moment I don't think works, because I would have to take with the e pawn. So knight d5, queen d2, rook d2, knight d5. If c d5, then my rook is hanging. So maybe I should just play rook c2 first, and then rook c1, and then knight d5, and then if queen d2, I have bishop d2, and then knight d5, c d5, rook c2, rook c2, rook c8, bishop c8. I'm controlling the c file. Does that run into anything unpleasant? I don't think it does. If b5 doesn't work, then what can he do? Knight h5, I'm not too convinced about. I definitely want to open up my light squared bishop. That's my only bad piece in the Maroczy Bind. So I think I think rook c2 is okay. Since he hasn't played e5, I don't think I have a lot of action going on the e file, especially since his knight is on e5, so it takes him 2 moves to play e5. Now, of course, if I play knight d5 and he takes on d2, I can take rook d1 takes on d2. Okay. So he's probably preparing e5, in which case I probably do take on c6. Bishop takes c6. And then knight d5. So rook dc1 seems normal. Does he take on d4? Bishop takes d4. No, I don't think he does. So I'm going to play rook d to c1. I think that sort of increases the pressure. Ah, did I miss knight b4? Ah, why did I miss knight b4? I'd completely overlooked knight b4. Okay, so I don't think I have to play rook b2 because of the rook. I have to play it because of the knight. He actually could have played e5 on the last move, but the knight was on c6, so he's not threatening. He's not threatening knight c2, he's threatening e5. Ugh. Okay, the one good thing I have going for me is after rook b2 I can play a3 and he can never take. So I have to play rook b2. I don't think I have a choice. But this was a very stupid miss. Okay, so let's say he does nothing and I play a3. Yeah, he would have to go back because queen a3 runs into rook a2. Because then if queen b4... No, it doesn't, because he has queen b4. I don't have anything against queen b4. I thought knight d5 was good, but it's not good. It does nothing. So not a3. What do I do then? Knight c2. I managed to make this game weird and complicated because I tried to double on the c file. That plan was completely wrong. Okay, he doesn't have queen b4 because there's a knight on b4 still. So a3, he has to go back somewhere. To knight c6 probably. But then what was the point of a3? I have to speed up. If queen a3, then I don't have rook a2 yet. I have to get rid of the knight first. So I don't think that works. Let's go look at knight d5. Knight d5 has to take. E takes. That's not good. Maybe I can play for a4 and the knight a2. I like that. a4, preventing any queen a2 ideas or knight a2 ideas, and also giving myself the option to play knight a2. Okay, I'm going to play that. It seems like a very strange move to me, but there's a trap here, so I think it could work. Unless he goes back to c6, but then if he goes back to c6, then I can play knight d5 and prepare b4 and try to create a passed pawn. I think a4 is a useful move. Usually white should play actively on the queen side to liberate the e2 bishop. Where does he move his queen actually? Okay. Does knight a2 just work? What's the defense? If he plays knight c6, I take it and they take on e7, so that's a pawn up. So I'll just play it. I don't want to waste too much time. Knight c6 is his only move. And then I take, queen takes, knight e7 check. So knight c6, queen takes, no, excuse me, knight c6 takes, queen takes, takes check, rook takes, bishop takes, no, rook takes, because he has knight e4, winning one. Oh. Yeah, sometimes I'm just a moron, but okay. Why did I miss this? Wait, can I play b4? b4. the queen moves. Because he cannot take on a4. b4, the queen moves. I take the knight. He has to move the rook. Yeah, but he can just take with the knight. Yeah, okay, he can just take with the knight. Do I want to trade queens? Do I want to trade queens? Okay, no, I don't think I want to trade queens. Let him take if he wants to take. My threat is b4, so he probably should take. Yeah, this is just why do I do things like this? I don't think I do things like this when I play without talking. I mean, that sounds like an excuse, but it's not that I missed a move, it's that he played a move and I just completely neglected the fact that it defends against my threat. Okay, so I think I want to play f4, but then he plays knight e4. I'm gonna have to speed up. Okay, I'll play rook dc2, because then I don't think knight e4 works after f4, and if it doesn't work, then I can play bishop f3 defending. I just blundered e5. Whoa. Okay, maybe I didn't. Yes, I did. I just blundered e5. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Oh, this is just dreadful. I don't know, I have to complicate things, but I don't know why I can't play normal chess when I talk. He just takes the knight and then the bishop, because if I move my bishop away, then he can move his rook away. Okay, in the comments on 2 videos ago, You pointed out that I focused too much on my mistakes when I could still try to save the game, and I agree, so I will not think about this anymore. Okay, this is good news. Okay, fine. This is much better. Because now on rook h6 I have g5, on rook h3 I have bishop f1. He should have just taken 2 pieces for the rook. He would have been completely winning. Yeah, okay, I managed to get out of it somehow. Undeservedly, definitely, but I don't think I'm lost anymore. Okay. This is unbelievable. What did he do? Why did he do this? Okay, I have a minute 45. It's not over yet. I think I take here. And then take here. And then I believe I have to trade. Maybe I don't have to trade. Maybe I can just play bishop g2 to keep everything closed. I like bishop g2. I don't want to... Well, yeah, probably I should have traded off the bishop pair because he has the bishop pair, but I didn't like him taking my e4 pawn, activating his rook. Okay, now I have to be careful. Does he have b5? I don't think so, so I should go towards the center, I think. If takes, bishop h3, bishop g2 takes, rook e4, he still trades, yeah. Unless I can play... Unless I can play king e2. King e2, f5, king d3, takes. King takes, bishop takes on f3. I don't like that. Can I just take on e4? King e2, f5, king d3, takes, bishop takes. Bishop f5 doesn't work. Okay, so I'm going to play king e2 because I definitely don't want him to take over here. I also have to watch out for bishop f5 forks. Okay, defend the pawn, get away from f5. Also give myself bishop d5 check if he plays f5. I played rook e1 so that sometimes bishop d5 check wins the rook. Okay, so now definitely rook e2, I think. So now finally I'm not hanging bishop f5 anymore. And on e takes f5, bishop takes f5 check, I can play bishop e4 without any consequences. Okay, bishop takes, because if I take with the rook, he can pin me. I don't know about this move, I just wanted to make a move. Maybe I could have played bishop g6 there, but I don't think I could have, because he can take, and then take the bishop. I mean, take on e2. I should probably play g5. I don't see what's wrong with g5. And now what do I do? Now I go back. Well, now I threaten the bishop. Let's see, let's threaten the bishop, see what he does. Okay, he unpins. Okay, I'm just going to start pushing my pawns, because I think I should have sort of security here, now that his king is cut off. The problem is that I can never move this bishop because it runs into bishop f5, where I'm going to have to hide. Now he doesn't have a single square for his king, because if he plays king h5, I take the bishop, play bishop g6, check, win the rook. Okay. Okay, let's take once and then push. What do I do against d5? What do I do against d5? Yeah, he plays d5. Can I take? I don't think I can take. Okay, I don't think I can take that. I don't like my position. Am I getting mated? I could be getting mated. At least I lose the exchange back. I couldn't pin him because he has rook c8 check. The reason why I took this one is to give my king a square. Hopefully. And also, I don't think it's going to be easy for him to queen. The opposite color bishop endgame is either a draw or better for me, depending on whether he can somehow get his bishop here. I need to prevent g4 check. And also give my bishop the g4 square to stop this one as well. Why would I do this? Why would I do this? This is not a good position. Oh, he can just advance the pawn. I thought I'm going to be on time to queen, but I'm not going to be on time to queen. This is just absurd. Oh. Oh. I should have played bishop g4 first. And I said I have to play bishop g4, but yeah, if I play bishop g4, it should be a draw. Let's see. Okay, if bishop g4 check, king here. What do I do? Yeah, maybe bishop g4 is not a draw either. Maybe I play bishop f5, and then on check I go here, here. What's this position? Maybe I hold with bishop f5. Yeah, I think this should be a draw. Let's just check that. Okay, how can he win this? Yeah, he can just force me out. Okay, so even this is lost. Okay, let's just have a look at my mistake. Okay, rook c2 is the beginning of my mistakes. And then allowing knight b4. And then rook b2, rook c7, a4. Yeah, okay, this is just... And then rook dc2 is the blunder. So here I cannot play f4. Let's just give my knight a square like this. So he doesn't have e5. Yeah, this should be okay. And after I blundered in this position, he should just take. And I don't think I can hold this because he can fork me here. So I don't take the pawn. Yeah, this is completely winning. But he played rook h4, gave me a chance. And maybe in this position I should have just traded. And that way he doesn't have the bishop pair. Here he would win another pawn, but I think I can throw in this one. So I think I win this. But okay, bishop g2 shouldn't be too bad. Maybe on f5 I should take. Because he doesn't have this check. He can take the pawn. But I don't think that's such a big deal. This should be much simpler. Okay, but rook e1 shouldn't be too bad. Rook g1 is definitely a weird move. I don't think this works. You can just take. So yeah, this doesn't work. So what do? If I move my bishop anywhere else, he can play bishop f5. Maybe I can just snap this one off. And on bishop f5 go back. I don't see why not. Yeah, I should have just taken the pawn on b7. Okay, now... Yeah, the b5 was a really good idea because it allowed d5. So against b5, what do I do? Maybe I just takes, and then wait for him to take, because then at least he doesn't have d5 with tempo. And after d5, yeah, I played bishop h1. I don't think I can take, because he can check me. And then, for example, here and then here. Maybe this is okay. It's definitely better than the game. Wow, okay, so I just didn't think that the opposite color bishop endgame was going to be hard. Let's see it. White is winning. I have this trick. I didn't see that. Okay, bishop b7, and then here and here, and yeah, it is a draw. And bishop f5 holds. Okay, let's see the rest of the game. This is all okay. Even this is okay. A4 is okay. Knight a2 is the blunder. Yeah, okay, but it's still fine, still better for white. Rook dc2 is not bad. It's not so bad. But not because of g4, because of knight b5. What? Ah, because after knight b5 I can then later play g4, is that it? Can I play g4 here? Ah no, because my f3 pawn is not defended now. Okay, but why? So I just have 3 pawns, okay. Yeah, and then he blundered with rook h4, which... Okay, g5 I had considered, but I thought this was going to be okay too. Bishop g2 is a blunder. Yeah, leaving him with the bishop pair is not a good idea. Oh, bishop g2 here. This is completely winning for white. Yes, I'm taking the pawn is good. Let's see what I went wrong. Because this is all fine. +6. Okay, even bishop h1 is still slightly better for white. I should have traded the other way. Yeah, and then it was just a draw. Yeah, short on time, this game was really hard. Okay, it wasn't a good game, but I think playing under pressure and also publishing my blunders is going to help me play better under pressure and play less blunders. Thank you for watching. Again, sorry you had to watch a pretty bad game. Stay tuned for more chess. Bye bye.